मजबूत बुनियाद, मजबूत निर्माण, जो रहे हमेशा के लिए स्ट्रॉन्ग, जिसमें स्ट्रेंथ भी है, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी भी, जो है सरियों में देश का नंबर 1 कैटेगरी ब्रांड, जिसके पास है नई सोच, नई तकनीक, 5,000 कर्मचारी, 3,000 करोड़ रुपए का ग्रुप, बदलते वक्त के साथ जिसने किया इनोवेशन लगातार।
Hello and a very warm welcome to GM Online Media presents Incredible Brands. You're with me, Gitanjali, providing a perfect balance of strength and flexibility. Shyam Steel is one of the leading primary TMT bar manufacturers and steel producers in India. The company was founded in 1953 by Shyam Steel, and over the decades, Shyam Steel has emerged as one of India's premier TMT Rebar manufacturers. And today, Shyam Steel, a 3,000 crore rupees group, employs over 5,000 people in its nationwide business operations. And let me tell you, this group is also endorsed by some of the top celebrities, including Virat Kohli and Anushka Sharma. So it's a pleasure to have with us today Mr. Gaurav Beriwal, who after completing his MBA from IIM Ahmedabad and a 2-year stint in Bain & Company, has now joined the company his grandfather started over 6 decades back as Vice President Strategy. So Gaurav is here to give us the first-hand account of the achievements and future plans, and to tell us what makes Shyam Steel a force to be reckoned with. Welcome to Incredible Brands, Gaurav.
Thank you.
So Gaurav, Shyam Steel was established in 1953. At that time, entering an industry such as steel was a challenging proposition. So why did you enter steel industry?
In 1953, India had just started its independent journey, and to develop at that point of time, India needed to develop its infrastructure, which would require high quality steel. So when my grandfather Sri Sriram Beriwal started this company, he wanted India to be self-reliant in its developmental journey, and he wanted to make the best quality steel in the world right here in India. That's why he entered this business.
So he started from a small factory in Howrah, and now you're one of India's leading, the biggest steel manufacturers. So how was the journey? What was it like?
In 1953, my grandfather started this business. In a few days, my grandfather's younger brothers joined the business as well, and they together took this business to the heights that they're currently in. They always wanted to manufacture the best quality steel, and that's why we made investments into that front early on. We set up one of the first private sector integrated steel plants in India, where we were making steel straight from the iron ore. This allowed us to supply steel to projects which are of national importance, such as bridges, dams, airports, etc. But we also wanted this steel to be available to every home builder in India, and that's why we set up a retail network as well. And today our products are available pan-India through a network of thousands of dealers. Today the Shyam Steel family is over 5,000 people strong, and we have diversified into multiple sectors such as IT services, power transmission, infrastructure, agro-processing, and so on.
That's exactly what I wanted to ask. Like you mentioned about the projects of national importance, only a handful of companies are qualified to provide steel, to supply steel for such projects. So how did Shyam Steel enter this group?
To be able to make the best quality steel in India, we made a lot of investments early on. We set up, as I said, an integrated steel plant where we were making steel right from the iron ore, which allowed us to control and tightly monitor every step of the manufacturing process. We also made investments into cutting-edge technology such as electric arc furnaces, where we're not using coal but instead electricity to melt steel. We set up a lot of automation and monitoring systems and so on, such that our steel is now empaneled in every major PSU in the country, such as railways, BHEL, defense, etc. We have supplied steel to the Bangalore and Hyderabad airport, the Panipat Expressway.
So you just mentioned home consumers. How can home consumers buy the steel?
We wanted to make sure that the high quality steel that we're making is not just used in these projects, but also used in every home in India. And typically home builders bought steel as a commodity where they did not necessarily emphasize the importance of buying the best quality steel. घर बनाते वक्त लोग स्टील की क्वालिटी पे उतनी फोकस नहीं डालते थे, पर आप घर की फर्नीचर, टाइल्स, पेंट सब बदल सकते हो, पर घर की स्टील सीमेंट बाद में नहीं बदल सकते। इसीलिए हमने ये अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना शुरू किया और हमने लोगों को बस समझाया कि हाई क्वालिटी स्टील खरीदने की इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है, और हमने अपनी प्रोडक्ट्स को अब ऑलमोस्ट हर स्टेट में अवेलेबल कराया है थ्रू आवर नेटवर्क ऑफ थाउजेंड्स ऑफ डीलर्स। और यही मैसेज देने के लिए हम विराट और अनुष्का के थ्रू भी यही दिखाते हैं कि एक रिलेशनशिप में जैसे स्ट्रेंथ और फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दोनों ही चाहिए होती है एक रिलेशनशिप को लॉन्ग लास्टिंग बनाने के लिए, वैसे ही एक घर को भी लॉन्ग लास्टिंग होने के लिए उसकी स्टील में फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी और स्ट्रेंथ दोनों चाहिए।
Like you just mentioned Virat and Anushka, I was coming to that. I've seen a lot of your commercials, your advertisements where they say that Shyam Steel TMT bars are flexi strong TMT bars. What does that mean?
In steel, strength and flexibility are inversely proportional. If you increase the strength, you reduce the flexibility and vice versa. मार्केट में ज़्यादातर लोग स्टील की स्ट्रेंथ पे फोकस करते हैं, पर हमारे रिसर्च में हमने यही पाया है कि कोई भी नेचुरल डिज़ास्टर के समय एक स्टील की फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी उसे उस डिज़ास्टर को विथस्टैंड करने की क्षमता देती है। दैट्स वाई वी क्रिएटेड अ स्टील दैट हैज़ द परफेक्ट बैलेंस बिटवीन स्ट्रेंथ एंड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, सच दैट हमारे स्टील के साथ आप नेचुरल डिज़ास्टर सच एज अर्थक्वेक को भी विथस्टैंड कर सकते हो। और इसी को समझाने के लिए हम अपने कम्युनिकेशंस में विराट और अनुष्का के थ्रू दिखाना चाहते हैं कि जैसे एक रिलेशनशिप को लॉन्ग लास्टिंग बनाने के लिए उसमें स्ट्रेंथ और फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दोनों की ज़रूरत है, वैसे ही एक घर को लॉन्ग लास्टिंग बनाने के लिए उसकी स्टील में स्ट्रेंथ और फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी की ऑप्टिमम बैलेंस ज़रूरी है।
बिल्कुल, स्टील में भी स्ट्रेंथ भी और फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी भी बहुत ज़रूरी होती है नेचुरल कैलामिटीज़ जो हैं उनको फेस करने के लिए। सो ओके, नाउ कमिंग टू TMT, इज़ दैट द ओनली प्रोडक्ट यू ऑफर?
नहीं, हम और भी कई प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफ़र करते हैं। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल फ्लाई ऐश ब्रिक्स, रेंज ऑफ स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील जो आप घर के गेट्स और ग्रिल्स में यूज़ होते हैं, और हम जल्दी एक रेंज ऑफ वाटर प्रूफिंग सोल्यूशंस भी लॉन्च करने वाले हैं जो बिल्डिंग के कंस्ट्रक्शन के समय यूज़ होते हैं और आपके घर को सालों साल प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं वाटर एंड रेन डैमेज से।
How did you come up with these ideas?
हमारा फोकस रहा है कि लोगों के घर को मजबूत किया जाए, इसलिए हमने पहले TMT, फिर स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील और अब वाटर प्रूफिंग केमिकल्स ला रहे हैं ताकि घर को आप बनाते वक्त निश्चिंत होकर के बना सकते हैं कि आपके घर सालों साल चलेगा।
ओके, तो आप कंज्यूमर्स की जो बेसिकली डिमांड है फ्यूचर को देखते हुए, नेचुरल कैलामिटीज़ को देखते हुए अपने स्टील को मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहे हैं, उसमें चेंजेस लेकर आ रहे हैं, उसको फ्लेक्सी स्ट्रॉन्ग बना रहे हैं, राइट? So now Gaurav, I want to know what is Shyam Steel's success mantra?
We don't have a mantra as such, but there are a few things that we try to do always. First is हम कुछ भी बनाएं उसकी बेस्ट क्वालिटी से बनाएं। हमारे दादाजी ने हमें यही सिखाया था कि क्वालिटी चेज़ करो, प्रॉफिट्स नहीं। तो कुछ भी हो, चाहे उसमें प्रॉफिट हो नहीं हो, हाईएस्ट क्वालिटी बनाना है हमें। सेकंड था कि एक ऐसा ब्रांड बनाएं हम जिस पे लोग भरोसा कर सकें। आप अगर श्याम स्टील की कोई भी प्रोडक्ट खरीद रहे हो, आप निश्चिंत होकर खरीद सकते हो कि हम आपके नीड के हिसाब से, आपके घर के हिसाब से आपको बेस्ट चीज़ें देंगे। थर्ड थिंग वी ट्राई टू डू इज़ टेक केयर ऑफ़ आवर रियल एसेट्स, आवर एम्प्लॉयज़। कोई भी कंपनी ग्रो करती है अपने प्रोडक्ट्स और सर्विसेज से ज़्यादा अपनी एम्प्लॉयज़ के डेडिकेशन और पैशन से, इसीलिए उन्हें हर स्टेप पे रिकग्नाइज़ करना, उन्हें हेल्प करना, उनकी देखभाल करना, ये हमारा एक हमेशा से प्रिंसिपल रहा है। श्याम स्टील एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं, एक परिवार है हमारे लिए। लास्टली हमारा ये हमेशा से फोकस रहा है टू गिव बैक टू द सोसाइटी एज मच एज़ पॉसिबल, एज मैनी टाइम्स एज पॉसिबल। इसीलिए हम जितना हो सके हम सोशल वर्क में, चैरिटेबल फ्रंट्स पे जितने एक्टिव हो सकें करते हैं।
So now it's time to halt for a short break, but we're not done talking with Gaurav yet. We'll come back and talk about the company's CSR program.
मैंने 2001 में श्याम स्टील एज एन अकाउंट्स असिस्टेंट ज्वाइन किया था। बहुत ही जूनियर पोजीशन थी और मुझे बिल्कुल भी अंदाज़ा नहीं था कि इस जूनियर पोजीशन में भी हम जैसे लोगों को जांचा और परखा जाता होगा। लेकिन टू माय सरप्राइज़ लगभग 1 साल बाद मुझे बताया गया कि श्याम स्टील का एक यूनिट, मॉडर्न यूनिट दुर्गापुर नामक एक इंडस्ट्रियल टाउन में, जो कि कलकत्ते से 170 किलोमीटर की दूरी पे है, वहाँ आ रहा है। और उसके ओवरसी करने के लिए उसके प्रिंसिपल कोऑर्डिनेटर के हिसाब से मुझे चुना गया। मेरे लिए बड़े ही हैरत की और बड़े आश्चर्य की बात थी। मैंने बड़ी तत्परता से इस ऑफ़र को स्वीकार किया और बहुत मेहनत की और आज इस मुकाम पे हूँ।
Welcome back once again to GM Online Media presents Incredible Brands. Today we're in conversation with Gaurav Beriwal, Vice President Strategy, Shyam Steel. Now Gaurav, you mentioned integrated steel plant. We've heard about steel plants, but what's an integrated steel plant?
An integrated steel plant is where we can make all of the manufacturing processes required to convert iron from its ore right down to its final product in one single place. What that allows us to do is take minute care of every process, make sure the quality is maintained on every part of the journey, and deliver the highest quality steel. Our integrated steel plant is set up in Durgapur, West Bengal. We set up one of the first private sector integrated steel plants in India, and it has end-to-end automation. It manufactures both our TMT and our structural steel products. It employs over 3,000 people in our setup alone. It has NABL accredited labs, total quality management systems in place, and Six Sigma lean manufacturing processes in place.
So now let's talk about Covid-19 and what all effects Covid-19 had on Shyam Steel's day-to-day business and what all measures were taken by the company to overcome all the problems.
As the cases were rising before the lockdown itself, we had started training our staff on work from home practices and policies. So we were able to quickly transition to work from home when the lockdown was imposed. But for a long period of time during the first lockdown, we had halted all activities. In our sector, in continuous manufacturing industries, we were allowed to keep our plants open. But because we did not want to take any exposure on our staff, even on our plant employees, we kept our plant shut, which was a major decision for us to take. As the lockdown lifted, we transitioned from work from home to in-office work very late into the cycle. And even then, we took a lot of measures to make sure that our staff are safe and take as little exposure as possible. To do that, we ensured that both pickup and drop-off for office was given to every employee by us. We provided subsidized food in our offices. We kept flexible timings for everybody so that as few people as possible were in office at the same time. Of course, we dispersed a lot of masks and sanitizers and gave everybody as much information as possible on how to stay safe. During the second wave, during lockdown, we were able to procure vaccines. So not only were we looking to get everybody vaccinated, and we gave all the vaccines free of cost to all of our employees, but we had managed to get enough vaccines so that everybody's loved ones were also able to get vaccinated. But the challenge we faced there was that at that point of time, Bengal was under strict lockdown. So we had to take permissions from the government and arranged transportation for every employee so that they could come to office, get vaccinated and get safely dropped back home. During the second wave, when things were really bad in the country, in the city, to motivate our employees and to boost morale, we launched a program called Family Fest, where we invited all of our dealers and distributors in our network to take part in some fun activities and games. This was all done virtually. We had a lot of contests like painting contests, dance contests, singing contests, etc., which were judged by celebrities, and we gave gifts to winning participants, etc. All of this was done to make sure that not only do we weather the storm, but we don't lose our spirit, our morale during that.
So Gaurav, COVID-19 had an impact on a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses were shut down. So what impact did COVID-19 have on Shyam Steel's day-to-day business, and what all measures were taken by Shyam Steels to overcome all the problems posed by the pandemic?
During the second wave, there was an acute shortage of medical help. What was most critical for people was to get the right medical advice at the right point in time. But because the availability of doctors was such a problem, both in urban cities but especially in rural towns, that we created a panel of expert doctors to provide 24/7 consultations for free to all of our employees and channel partners. This team of doctors included a lot of specialists like pediatricians as well. The idea was to make sure that nobody in our family suffered because of the access to doctors. Apart from physical well-being, we were also looking to make sure that we provide mental and emotional support to people. And that's why we launched a program called Flexi Strong Talks, where the objective was to provide people with both inspiration to deal with the challenges of our times and some tactical guidance on how we can all make small changes in our day-to-day lives such that we can enrich our daily lives. We brought two kinds of speakers on our show. First were real-life heroes like Major General Dogra, Major Deep Sengar, Anand Shankar Jayant, who talked about their journey, their struggles through life and how they emerged from their challenges like cancer, being shot down and not being able to walk, to being and how they rehabilitated themselves to be able to fight in another war. These stories were meant to inspire us to say that if these people can overcome such monumental odds, well then so can we. But inspiration is nothing but a catalyst to action. We also wanted to provide people with tactical guidance on what everyone can do in their daily lives to enrich their lives. Hence, we brought on experts from a variety of fields such as dietitians, mental health experts, parenting coaches, life coaches, etc. to guide us on various aspects of our lives that affect each and every one of us. This show is available for everybody to view on our YouTube channel and our social media, and anybody can participate in our upcoming shows as well and interact live with our speakers by simply registering on flexistrongtalks.com. Apart from this, we also launched an e-rickshaw program. During the lockdown, people had been displaced and they had lost their livelihoods. So to correct that, we were distributing e-rickshaws to people such that they could earn their livelihoods again.
So this is how Shyam Steel has contributed during the pandemic. Now we'll move forward and talk about the company's CSR. Now moving forward, let's discuss about the company's CSR and its future plans. Shyam Steel puts great stress on the quality of manufacturing, inclusion of latest technology and corporate social responsibility, which lies at the core of the company's philosophy. It is widely known and accepted in the industry that while today CSR has become a government mandate for companies, Shyam Steel's mandate came from the conscience of its promoters. It came from the day of its inception. So let's find out more about the company's CSR and its future plans. So Gaurav, Shyam Steel has a very comprehensive CSR program. Could you shed some light on it?
One of the founding principles for us has been to give back to the society as much as we can. For us, a business is about helping people at the end of the day. That is why we are very active in a variety of fields such as healthcare, education, women's safety, and so on. The Shyam Steel's Foundation is greatly involved in providing growth opportunities to every sector of the society, including orphans, senior citizens, war veterans, etc., and is also very active in animal welfare. We run a variety of charitable schools where we provide free tuition and books. We also run mobile healthcare units in a lot of villages where we provide not only consultation but also medicines to everybody. We were heavily involved in the green revolution of the Asansol and Durgapur belt. We routinely partner up with NGOs such as Bandhabi, Helpage India, etc. to further our activities and our reach. And we make it a point to get involved after every natural disaster that hits our country and put up relief camps as much as we can.
So, Gaurav, I think when we talk about CSI, you're covering almost about everything we can think of. Now, can you tell me about the future plans of Shyam Steel?
My grandfather and his brother started the business. My Tauji, father and Chachas grew the business, and now my generation is joining the business, and we hope to take this business much further ahead. We expect a strong growth in our core segment and are expanding our capacity both through greenfield and brownfield expansions. We're adding new products to our portfolio such as waterproofing solutions, and we are in multiple new sectors already and are looking to enter few more sectors in the coming years.
Well, all the best for that, and thank you so much for joining us, for telling us about Shyam Steel.
Shyam Steel, they are a very, very well managed professionally, and both aesthetically and all these things are definitely part of the organization, and they give very best to the market as well as to their employees, and I understand they are one of the best companies available in this manufacturing area.
मेरी खुशनसीबी समझिए कि मेरे को श्याम स्टील इंडस्ट्रीज़ के ओनर के साथ मिलने का मौका मिला, और मैंने उनको अपना यह विचार बताया कि हम ग्रामीण महिलाओं के लिए अगर मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ मैनेजमेंट पर काम करेंगे तो ये उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा। उन्होंने मेरा सारा प्लान सुना और उनको ये बहुत अच्छा लगा, क्योंकि इससे ना केवल हम उनको एक हेल्दी एंड हाइजीनिक पीरियड्स टाइम दे रहे थे, इसके अलावा हम उनको बहुत तरह की खतरनाक बीमारियों से भी बचा रहे थे। तो उन्होंने इसमें मेरा बहुत साथ दिया, ना केवल फाइनेंसिस बल्कि अपने सारे रिसोर्सेज लगाए, जिससे कि हम ग्रामीण महिलाओं के पास पहुंच सके और उनको मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ के बारे में बता सके।
So there you have it, the story of Shyam Steel and TMT and how they managed to break into the top echelons of Indian steel rebar manufacturing powerhouse. So that's all for today in GM Online Media presents Incredible Brands. Thank you for watching.